Compelling villains aren't always an easy thing to make for your campaigns, but there are a few things that you can do to help your villains seem a lot more interesting to the players. The first thing you can do is have this villain be fleshed out. Now, what I mean by that is have a backstory for the villain, have a personality for them, and have goals. Have actual goals that these villains want to attain. You want to have short-term goals and you want to have long-term goals, and these goals have to directly affect the party or in a roundabout way affect people around them. When you have a villain that is fleshed out, you have a villain with a full personality and story, almost like they're another player character, then suddenly the players feel like they can interact so much more. They can bounce back so much. Now remember, these villains often feel motivated, whether it is through some sort of madness, or it is that they actually think they're making a change, or maybe they're just angry and they want to destroy it all. There's always some sort of motivation for these villains. And that means that when it comes time for you to argue with the players, even if that player is like champion of the debate team, they're so lost in their delusion, they're so lost in their goals, the ball has been rolling for so long that they're not just going to be like, you know what, you make a great point. They're going to double down. So when you have these villains, they have a full fleshed out story, they have motivation, they have these goals, and the players interact with them, you can showcase how far this villain is willing to go and how your words just aren't reaching them. They are a being with extraordinary power, and they are forcing a change that they believe is for the better, whether it is just for them, for society as a whole, maybe even the planet. Who knows? Maybe they're against civilization because it's ruining everything in their eyes. So when you have these villains, make sure that they are somebody that the player could feasibly sit down and they could talk to for a whole session, and it feels like that they're talking to a person. Now this might feel a bit intimidating. This might feel like, well, how am I supposed to do that, right? That's quite a bit that you want me, the GM, to put forward for effort. One of the ways you could do this is base them off a character from popular media. Maybe there's a TV show you really like, maybe there's a book series you're really enjoying. Take the basic premise of that character. It'll give you a personality, it'll give you some backstory traits about them that you can modify a little bit to fit the world you're working with, and then you have sort of this template that you're coming from familiarity, whoa, there's a word, that you can then jump forward into the campaign, and then it'll really feel like you spent a lot of time coming up with this character, as long as it isn't an obvious one-for-one. So those are kind of the things that you can do to help make the villain a lot more memorable, to motivate the party to go after them, and to have that villain just really seem like they're an actual big threat in this story. So remember, you want to flesh out that personality, flesh out the backstory, have short-term goals, have long-term goals, and when it comes time for the players to be like, why are you doing this? Or here are the logical reasons of why you're wrong, they're going to double down and say, nope, I'm the one who's right, you're the one who's delusional. Hope that helps. Bye now.